So you're gonna start off by taking off the tomb. Once you take off the tomb, you're gonna unscrew the tomb, and then you're going to take off the pop-up light and the hazard assembly. Once you take it off, it's gonna look like this. I have a spare one here that we're gonna be working with. Once you take it off, you're going to look inside and rotate it over, and you're gonna see two screws. These two screws are going to have this is a socket, and it's gonna have an assembly. It's a socket assembly, so it's gonna have the bulb in it, right here like this. You're just gonna rotate it a quarter way, and once you rotate it, it's going to fall out of the hole, and it's gonna line up with those two grooves, and you're just gonna pull it out. In my case, I just used a screwdriver and kind of played with it and wiggled it, smacked the back a little bit until the fell out, and then we have that. So now we have two of them here. All right, I'm gonna try my best to show this. I said that was the hard part, but actually this next part is relatively easy, just a little bit tricky. So this is a incandescent bulb, okay? It's got a little rubber, what looks like to be a condom. It's in reality just like a little cover to change the color of the light from yellow warm to like a green, so that way it matches this. So in the inside, there are two screws. There's two holes. You see it right in the middle. And those two holes have a wire that comes out. It goes up, it goes over, it goes back around, it goes in the inside, and then it stops. And you can see it when we traced it. It stops right there in that little glimmering shiny part. So you're going to use a little tool, a pick. In my case, I have a thin screwdriver. And we're going to unwind that, and I will unwind one and then get back to you, and then we'll cut back to when I have them both unwind. So when you have it already pulled out, you're going to, I only have one hand, so I'm gonna have to cut to it, but you're going to grab the bulb and pull up on the socket, and it's gonna slip right through those two holes. And voila, so it's gonna come out. And what you're gonna do is you're going to pull off the sleeve on this and save it. Because if you want to keep them green, you're going to keep it. Otherwise, if you want it to be a little bit brighter and like a warm yellow tone, then you can take it off and not put it back on. So I bought a kit on Amazon for the T3 bulbs. It did come with a twist socket. However, it did not fit it was not the same size as this one from the Mazda. It was a little bit larger. So in my case, which I suspect it to be similar to your case, we are going to do the exact same process of removing the bulbs from the kit and then extracting them separately. And I'll show you in a second what that looks like. Okay, so I took it off. So my one on Amazon, which is this white one, came with the bulb, and I have them split up here. You could see that the Amazon one is slightly smaller than the original one, and it's fine. And you can even see the original one kind of looks burnt. It's kind of got that browning on it. So it was about time we switched it out. So they're going to function the same thing. They're going to function the same way. We have the small bulb that we're going to grab. We're going to move away the old one. These guys are no good to us. And we're going to reuse the same socket, and we're going to straighten out these legs, and we're going to shove it through this inside, and we're going to pop out the wires on this side, and I'll show you how we're going to wind it. So here it is after I've already channeled it through. It's a smaller bulb, and what you're going to do is we're going to grab one of the legs, and you're going to see how there's two channels. They go out to the outside. So we're going to grab one. It's in a bend. So I'm going to follow the path. It's in a bend outward, then it's in a bend into that little channel. We're going to pull it through. It's going to go back up, and when it goes back up, we're going to see it. We're going to try to leave it in that little area. I'll show you once it's ran. And what you're going to do is make sure to try to tug at the wire, trying to make those angles sharp like the original one, so that way it doesn't get loose. I grabbed it, and I went around that circle, and I wrapped it around it. There's a groove on it, and you can just follow it, and I'm going to get the other one set up. It's been a little bit difficult to record since it's so tiny, but we got everything in. You can see the back of the wires. Mine are protruding a little bit, but you can flatten them out, Try to do your best job. The whole goal is so that way it can't unwind. So I'm gonna do a little bit touching up, and once I'm ready, we're going to put that little sleeve over this, and it's gonna fit it loose because this is a shorter bulb, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be snug, so it doesn't really matter. And I'll show you what that looks like when I put it back on. So while I was doing this, I forgot to mention that when you put it on, I have this new one on, wipe down the bulb because apparently it wears down the bulb a little bit faster. Just use a little microfiber cloth, wipe it down, clean it up, take off any oils it may have had. And I wanted to give a heads up. When you reattach this, right, if it does not turn on, then this little loop that you have here going on, it wasn't good. So just redo that. The other thing that it could be is if you're using a LED instead of an incandescent bulb like I have here, polarity matters. And on the inside here, there's a positive and a negative side. So if it doesn't go on, if you've twisted it on, you connect it, and it doesn't turn on, you're going to disconnect it, flip it around, and then rotate it again. Try that way, and if that doesn't work, then one of those ways should work. Just keep in mind that these one of them is positive and the other one is negative. So I'm gonna put this in, and let's see what it looks like when it's connected. Okay, now that I got it, I tightened this up a little bit, and I put the little sleeve over it, and we're just gonna put it back onto the container. We're going to drop it in, we're going to play with it, and once it goes in, use a flathead, and we're going to rotate it until you feel it, until it gets a little bit snug. And once it's snug, then you're just gonna leave it. Let me play with this, and I'll show you guys when they're both on, and then we're going to connect it to the one that already existing, and we'll see how it came out. Okay, I just put it in. This is the old one. The old one had a little bit of a yellowing hue on this bottom part. This is the new one we just put in. I'm gonna turn on the light, and bam, now it's actually fully green. It looks identical to how it should be, and it is lit up. I hope I was able to help. Leave a comment if it helped out, and I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. One side tip, I took out the old socket because I had swapped out both of these already, but what I realized was my bottom part had a little bit of yellow showing, and that was because the little rubber cover, the blue cover that was on the bulb, was slightly not fully pushed down all the way, and it had a yellow exposure on it, so that's why it kind of looked a little mixed. So just make sure that little rubber part is in fully, and then you'll have yourself some ice lights.